Welcome to part 2 of writing a book series with me. In the last episode, we did planning, and I ended it by saying, you will learn so much you won't believe it. In this episode, I'm going to prove it and show you how to write. I mean really write. I'm going to break it down into 2 categories and I'm going to explain each one. You may not realize how important they are if you want to be taken seriously. Before we begin, I want to start with a confession. When I first started writing the book, I wondered if the way I was writing it was correct. After writing and writing, I realized something. I didn't know how to write for a novel. Yep, it's embarrassing, but it's the truth. So what did I do? I researched and I learned. I practiced, I made mistakes and I improved. And now I'm pretty confident that I can write properly. But what was I doing wrong? I'm going to break it down into 2 categories. Dialogue and M- versus the semicolon. First off, dialogue. Dialogue is everything, and there are many ways to write dialogue. You can write it in one big block. You can split it in 2, you can start it after a sentence, or before. There are so many different options. My favorite is what I like to call the double. You do this by opening quotation marks. Insert your dialogue, end with a comma, quotation marks, add the speaker line, then full stop. Now add more quotation marks, insert your dialogue, add a full stop, and close your quotation marks. Doing that is so much more interesting than writing one big block of text. By the way, I learned this like everyone else. I made many mistakes learning to write dialogue. For example, I put my commas after my quotations, I put full stops where I should have put commas, and many more mistakes. I'm going to insert some links to the sites where I learned about dialogue in the description, so you can see just how many ways there are to write dialogue, and all the rules around it. Next, M- versus semicolon. When should I use which? If you don't know what an M- is, I don't blame you. It isn't found on most keyboards and it's not recognized by many applications. So this is what it looks like. The way I personally type it is by typing dash twice, which then automatically forms an M- in Scrivener. Typing a semicolon is easier, it's found on every keyboard. But let's show you what they mean and how to use them with examples. And by the way, sometimes you could use either of them with slightly different meanings. An M- is a punctuation mark used for emphasis. For example, you could write, the bread looked fluffy, M- soft as a pillow. You can also use M-dashes in other ways to show stuttering, for example, but I'll leave that for your own research. Next, semicolons. Semicolons are placed in between 2 sentences that are linked. For example, you could write, the bread looked fluffy, semicolon, everyone outside the window drooled over it. Do you see the difference? You could even turn the semicolon into an M- by adjusting the second sentence. Like this, the bread looked fluffy, M- desired by all. It's subtle, but there are clear rules for using M- versus semicolons. And that's just one of the ways you could use them in your writing. There are so many more ways. It shows how important it is to understand grammar properly, because it will affect your writing. It doesn't take long to learn, and sometimes you won't know everything from the start. As long as you have a decent understanding, you won't be spending hours fixing it in the editing stage. Once you learn the rules, you'll become empowered, because you can decide what punctuation mark you want to use in different scenarios. Short and snappy, use the M-. Long and technical, use the semicolon. Each decision carries weight, changing the writing and flow of your story, so choose wisely. If you're ever confused, just look it up. That's all for this episode. Next episode will focus on editing and feedback, where you'll learn even more about formatting, grammar, and whether your story is close to being ready. I might even talk about ARC readers. Until next time.